What's going on, guys? It's your boy the Markham Knight here. Today's video is going to be all about the DC Universe Classics Collect and Connect figure. This is Imperiex Prime. Now, for those of you who don't know who he is a Superman villain. Although he is a cosmic level villain, he is extremely powerful, even to the level where Darkseid and Brainiac teamed up to take this guy down. And basically, he is a Superman villain, but he is of the upper echelon. He's in the highest tier of enemies in terms of power. Now, his actual power set is most similar to Galactus for those of you who are Marvel readers. Now, he is basically a planet eater. He absorbs energy and he needs that energy to sustain himself, basically DC's Galactus. So, let's jump right into the actual sculpt details here. This is one of my favorite Build-A-Figure Connect and Collect figures in the DC Universe Classics line. So let's take a look at him. As you can see, if you take a look at his face, it is sculpted really, really well. If you look at the detail around the lips, detail on the eyes, he is done very, very well. And then let's give you a full 360 of him. I love all the design work that went into him. He looks really, really good. You look at everything along the arms, underneath, on top of his armor. Like I said, he looks really, really good. So the sculpt detail on him is done very, very well. So we can jump right into a little bit of articulation now. So let's start with the head. You don't get too much, you get the side to side. Don't get very much down, don't get very much up. And he does have, over here he has butterfly joints. They do open up like this. He does have an upper arm swivel. He has a single joint right here at the elbow. He does have rotation at the forearms and nothing else at the wrist. In terms of his actual torso, he goes down about that much, he goes up about that high, so not too much there. At the waist, he does rotate. On the legs, he gets about that high up, not too high because his actual skirt tunic thing is limiting him. Same with the way back, you don't want to do too much because you're going to do some damage to this. At the knee, you do have a single knee joint over there, so he gets about that far. And then at the ankle, you get him about that low, and you get him about that high. And that's about it. You do have a thigh cut right here, so there is a swivel there. And he does have very big feet, so he stands really, really well. Let's get him back into his spot over here. Let's pose him up, and let's do a size comparison. But even before that, we need to measure him to see just how tall he is. So as you can see, he stands at about 9 inches tall. He looks really, really good at that height. So he's part of the DC Universe Classics line. So let's get him next to some DC Universe Classics figures. So the first guy I want to get in next to him is Dr. Fate over here. And Dr. Fate does look really cool next to him, but he towers over Dr. Fate. He is built for the 1/12 scale, which is 6 inches tall. Let's get another DC Universe Classics guy in there with him. Another 6-inch figure here. And this right here is the monitor. Let's get him standing nice and tall. There you go. And he does look good next to him too. But again, he towers over both of these guys. He's extremely tall compared to these guys. Let's get him next to a couple of other Collect and Connect figures. This is him next to Calabac. And Calabac is one of the smaller DC Universe Collect and Connect figures. He is significantly shorter than him, but he is obviously taller than the monitor over there. So let's remove the monitor. And let's get our Darkseid up in here. Now this is one of my favorite, this is actually my favorite Darkseid figure here. But you can see Imperiex towers over him. He towers over both of these guys. He is extremely large and he is sculpted extremely well. And he is the only Imperiex figure that's actually on the market that's even worth picking up, because I haven't seen anything else that looks good at all. So let's talk about Imperiex a little bit. Let's bring him a little bit closer and get some better look at his face a little bit. Like I said, guys, he does look really, really cool. He is done really, really well. So let's talk about him a little bit. This is my favorite Imperiex Prime. Well, it's probably the only Imperiex Prime figure that I've ever seen on the market, but he is done extremely well. The paint is done, the paint applications look really, really good. Now, if you do turn him a couple of times over here, it does throw off where the lining ends up, but you don't necessarily need to pose him in any specific ways. He is a rather large figure, so with figures of this magnitude, you usually don't put them in too many dynamic poses or anything like that. But if you wanted to, he has just enough articulation where you can play with him just a little bit. But otherwise, guys, Imperiex Prime is a really cool figure, and for those of you who are DC collectors or Superman collectors or anything else of the sort, he is definitely a pickup for you guys. Anyways, guys, do you like Imperiex Prime? Have you ever read him in the comic books? And do you even remember him if you do? Tell me what you think.
This is the Markham Knight, and I need you to like, comment, and subscribe.